You've got an amazing job description, you're advertising all over, you've selected a great candidate. How come they don't always work out? Hi, my name is Bernie Heine, and I want to talk a little bit about the hiring process and some of the pitfalls that often happen. When in the hiring process, we're laying out a very good job description. This is what needs to get done. These are all the things we want to have from people. But we have to be a little bit careful of what we're asking for. And have we asked all the right questions about what's really important? So I have a client where they had a great process going. They brought in all kinds of qualified applicants and they picked people, but they had a very high turnover rate. Now, granted, this was a tough job and it was a little bit of a dirty job and it's not for everybody, but still, why were they having this high turnover rate? So I asked them to do a very simple exercise. We did a focus group. Now, but we did a focus group not in the normal sense that you would think. We just did it virtually. I asked him to imagine in his head that on this side of the room, we have the 4 best hires he's ever made. They're right here in the room with us right now. And on the other side of the room, we have the 4 worst hires. What's in common and what's different? And we went through kind of an interview process of people that aren't here, but we know who they are and we kind of know what they would have said if we asked them particular questions. And we went around the room and interviewed these people who aren't there, but we know them. And it all came down to one major difference. The people who were successful in the company had a high level of intellectual curiosity. They were the people that would read the trade journals and be interested when the company was bringing on a new tool, and they'd want to know how it worked right away and they'd want to be the first ones to use it. And the other group, even though on all other aspects were completely equal, they didn't really care about that stuff. They weren't interested in knowing where the business was going. So they added some questions to the interview process that incorporated intellectual curiosity. Things like, what kind of magazines do you read? What kind of things do you do on your spare time? Just finding out, are these people ones that would be interested in advancing their education in the job, or are they just there because it's a job? The result was amazing that they've had great hires ever since, adding just that subtle tweak in the hiring process. So really what it comes down to is we hire for attitude and then we can train for aptitude, because you can't change somebody's attitude towards the job. So what are those elements that we're looking for to make sure we get the people that have the right attitude, and those people will end up being your long-term, really successful employees? So I encourage you to think about what are all the questions you're asking, and are there some really critical differentiators that you can add to your hiring process that could make the difference between long-term employees and high rates of turnover.